we're going to learn how to divide hostas. Michelle's going to show us all about it. So where do you want to start?
Well, I brought a couple of hostas this morning, and I wanted to say, first of all, you don't necessarily have to divide your hostas.
You don't have to, okay.
But if they are too big in your garden and you want to spread them around your yard, by all means, you can divide them. And now is a good time to do that because it's fall now.
Okay.
The air is cooler at the night. It's not so hot in the daytime. Your garden should be workable. Your garden beds, if you're in your flower beds, or I grow many of my hostas in pots because I have a vole problem and also tree roots. So if you're going to, before you begin dividing your hostas, I please urge everyone to look at your hostas. You do not want to divide a hosta that has a disease. You do not want to divide a hosta that has nematodes, which is a little microscopic worm that crawls up the leaf blade, and you can see it in the leaf blade. It would be in the blade itself, and it would be like a little brown strip. And if you have nematodes, they are definitely evident now in the garden. You may not see them in the spring, but you will see them now. Do not divide a hosta that has nematodes. They're spread by water droplets, and I don't want them. Also, if you have a hosta that may have hostavirus X, which is, you can see that by, these hostas do not have any diseases. If this hosta had hostavirus X, you would see bleeding in the veins of the hosta. It looks like if you had watercolors and you dropped it on a napkin, it would sort of like bleed out. Or the leaf itself might be puckered or misshapen in some way, and you do not want to divide a hosta that has hostavirus X. Both those diseases are being studied by the American Hosta Society. They are sponsoring studies to eliminate those diseases, or at least find out more about them. So if you have a hosta in a pot, and I brought mine, this little hosta right here, it was in a pot. It is got a lot of roots. It's very root bound. Hostas do like to be root bound, but I am ready to divide this one. Before I came, I took it out of the pot. I washed it off really well so you could see the roots.
Looks good, fibrous.
Yes, they do. They're nice roots. I also dipped it in a little bit of, in my water, I soaked it. Water, water, water before you divide. I soaked it in some water that had just a little bit of bleach in it, like 1 part bleach, 9 parts water, in case there are any bacteria or anything. It doesn't hurt the hosta, and it helps in the...
I smell bleach.
That's right. I soaked them both. Now, lots of roots. Before I put it in a pot, I want to kind of spread my roots out. And I watered it well. Like I said, water, water, water. Hostas love water, but they don't want to be too much water. You have to have a good porous soil. So, for this hosta, it's kind of hard to see, but we're going to just divide it. I'm just going to cut it right here.
So you can just dive in and just be violent?
I'm just dividing it. I'm just going to dive right in. Now, you don't want to divide a hosta too much, because if you've heard of peep, creep, leap. So if you have a big, beautiful hosta at home in your garden bed, and it is gorgeous and big, and you decide that you want to divide it, you may not ever, it may or may not get that big and beautiful again. But if you want to move it around your garden, that's all right. Take a couple of years to come to maturity again. All right. So now, if I had more water, I would have divided this up. But what I want to do is, I have a good loose soil here, and I have taken, since I'm putting them in pots, I took a potting soil mix, and I also add to it. I add soil conditioner, and I also add, you can buy a soil that's for trees and shrubs. It has a lot of bark in it. I want a good porous soil. That's what I'm trying to do. I want good drainage. Good drainage.
And usually that's like pine bark.
Yeah, that's what it looks like is in it.
That's what it is. So let me just put some soil in here real quick. All right, now, that's enough to start. And we do not want to bury them too deep. If you're in your garden, in your flower bed, make your hole wider than deep. They want to be at the same level, and you want to, the soil needs to be workable, but you don't want to bury it deep. You make a little, either in the pot or in the ground, make a little cone shape. If you have problems with voles, which some people do, you can, if you like, take some pea gravel or crushed rock and put it around your cone right here in the garden bed. Then you take your hosta here in the, I don't need it here in the pot. We're going to spread our roots out just a little bit.
Okay, pull them apart, huh?
Right, We want to, maybe I have a little too much dirt. That's all right. This is just demonstration. Put it right in here, kind of spread them out, set them up on this little cone, spread the roots out, spread them down, and
just fill.
And just fill it up.
You might have done this a time or two, huh?
Oh, yeah, I would say I've done this a few times. I need to go down here where it won't spread and get all over your table.
Oh, that's all right.
All right.
You just can't do this without making a mess.
That's right.
Nope, it's going to be messy. Okay, now it's
Making
a
a mess
good
is the fun
porous
part.
soil.
It is, yeah.
It has a lot of pine bark mulch, pine bark in it and mulch, and so it's good and porous.
Okay.
And if we were outside, I would water this well. You don't need to fertilize now,
Okay.
but I'm dividing my hostas now so that they have time to settle in the ground and kind of get acclimated to their new location before it frosts.
Good deal.
Okay.
Now, while we have some time left,
All right.
you want to try to...
All right, this hosta is a hosta guacamole. Let me
Guacamole.
I'm gonna put this down here.
Okay.
Hosta guacamole, one of my favorites. This is an easy hosta to grow here in the Mid-South.
Nice.
I also
Good
took this
size.
one out of a pot. It was pretty root bound, and I've already washed it, and I soaked it in a little bit of bleach water. And I was going to divide it, and pull off all this funk. If your hostas are starting to go down like this, if you wanted to cut them off now, you can do that, but you don't have to do that.
Okay.
This one, when it was in a pot, it's still beautiful. I'm not ready to cut this off. I'm still ready to let it show off in my garden because it is
Okay.
beautiful. But as I washed this hosta, it just sort of fell apart. So,
Again, nice fibrous roots.
Yeah.
Yes,
it's
very
real
good
healthy
roots.
looking.
and try not to cut them if you can help it. But if you can just pull them apart.
Okay.
A bad
like
hair
this.
day, right?
It looks like
So this one didn't really need to be cut, but it just came apart so well.
Okay.
All right, and then since this is a nice big piece, I don't want to divide it too much.
Okay.
I want it to be able to come back and be beautiful again next year and the year after that and the year after that.
Okay.
So I'm going to leave this big one just the way it is, and we'll take out some of this yellow that I don't need.
Okay.
Okay, and I have a big heavy pot, and these are perfect pots for staying out in the yard.
Okay.
No
Let
problem
me-
at all.
Let me get this up for you.
All right.
So the freeze won't hurt them like
Not
it
at
does
all.
some ceramic pots.
Not at
yeah.
all. And by the way, when I get done or when I go home, I will put some pine bark mulch around this, some soil conditioner, and you should do that in the garden bed as well because
You want me to dump it in for you?
That'd be great. You don't want to have them
Now that you direct me.
heave out in the wintertime.
Let me know when now.
Okay, whoa right there.
Okay.
Whoa,
Whoa,
right there.
whoa, she says. Okay.
So we want to, now I know it doesn't look pretty now, but that doesn't matter. We're worried about springtime. I'm going to spread my
Looks
roots
pretty
out.
good to me.
Spread my roots out. Now you want to pour some more dirt
Okay,
in here
okay.
for me? Okay. And I was speaking of heaving out of the ground. You know what that means. If the way the winters are, it can be warmed and cold and warmed and cold, and that can make the hosta heave out of the ground, and we do not want that to happen
Is it
because
coming
once
out
they
there?
come out,
Yeah, make sure it comes out.
Here, let's set it down. I'll just pick it
Okay.
up. You want it to stay in the ground because if they come out and you're not out there in the wintertime, when you go back and you have a hosta that is just sitting on top of the ground, it is frozen and it will just die.
All right, Miss Cheryl, we appreciate the demonstration that you've done for us today.
You're
Thanks
welcome.
much.